thank you all for coming. First of all, we're having trouble getting people out now because it's on television, and that's good. Tiffany's here helping us with our TV presentation. So I want to thank you for, first of all, coming out to our RORO quarterly meeting. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Don Infante. I have the honor of being the president of RORO. And we have a great board. Your board today is going to present to you. But the first thing we do, we have a thing called the RORO Appreciation Award. And we're going to give it to two wonderful ladies. The RORO Appreciation Award is designed for those that give so much to our community, but somehow they're not in the forefront of our community. And the two people who we're going to give it to today are our two librarians, Nancy Burnett and Jean Beagles.
Oh.
Okay? Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning.
We have been cooped up for the past 6 to 7 months, and we were blessed, however, to have two great libraries run by two great librarians. Nancy Burnett for the South and Jean Beagles for the North. If you've been in our libraries, if you haven't, please take a step, time to go. They're wonderful, both of them, okay? They're the epitome of what a library should be. And the people making that happen are our two librarians. It's been an especially trying time. A lot of us have been cooped up, and we were blessed to have two great libraries and two great librarians who kept the books stocked up, get all the new books in, get some puzzles for us to go on, and we had a lot of time to fill, and some of you, most of you, filled your time by going to our library. And we were lucky to have two great ladies who have given so much of their time and their effort to our community. So for that, I want to present the RORO Appreciation Award. First of all, to Nancy. Nancy, thank you for keeping our South Library all that it is. And thank you for your time and your effort and all the things you do for our great community. Thank you very much. That's okay. Thank you. And here's a lady who gives a lot to our community beside being the librarian, but we wanted to honor her just for that function. She gives a lot to our community, but one of the things she does is she's the North Librarian. So thank you, Jeannie.
Thank
you. Thanks to both you great ladies for all you do.
Nancy, come back up a minute for a picture.
Got to have a picture, Nancy.
Just a minute, let me get my mask up. Somehow I have it on selfie.
All right. No selfies today. Okay, ladies, come on. You have the
I'm
reins.
gonna look at her.
Okay.
One more smile.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, both ladies. Is to have the approval of the last meeting minutes. The last meeting was the 17th of June. And we had the minutes posted. It was a virtual presentation. But we have to have the minutes approved, so I make a motion that we approve the minutes for the June meeting. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Well, thank you all very much. And with that, we're going to go to the statements of our incoming candidates for 2021 for the Board of Directors. You have a great board. Everybody on this board is a dedicated citizen of this community and cares about it very much. So we're blessed with wonderful people. And we have an election every year. Now, we had 3 incumbent candidates, Judy, Lewis, and Chris. Okay. So that's the 3 of them right down there. And we asked for other nominations for you to run for the board, and nobody volunteered. So the 3 incumbents are here, and they need to give a presentation because they want to stay on the board and they want to be reelected. So Judy, do you want to start, please?
Don, may I make a suggestion that we, by acclamation, take these 3 candidates because they have no competition. We know them. They've been serving on the board. They've done a good job. So by acclamation, can't we just do that and say 15 minutes?
No.
Well, I'd like to have them talk.
Well,
Okay.
sorry, I tried.
That's okay, thank you, man. I know, but it's an honor to serve on the board.
It is, but I was asked to
It's
do that.
it's a great honor, and I think everybody has to justify what they want to do and talk to the residents, and Judy, you're up.
I can come.
Okay.
Judy, would you like for me to come down there?
Yes.
I can
Yes,
come
ma'am.
down.
Would you
Okay.
mind?
I'm Judy Studebaker. We have lived here 8 years. I filled an unexpired term this summer. I've been an ambassador for 7.5 years. I chair the Sales and Marketing Committee. I served on that committee before I began chairing it. I assisted with survey information meetings 2 years. President of Regency Oaks Scholarship Fund Incorporated. I attend the Tuesday talks. I attend the quarterly RORO meetings, attend the forum meetings, a member of the wine club. I enjoy gourmet dinners, wine pairing dinners, enchanted evenings, and I play mahjong.
Thank you, Judy.
Good morning, everyone. And to you on 732, good afternoon. Just what you wanted to hear was another campaign speech, I'm sure. Don asked us to tell everyone why we wanted to be on the board. And I guess my answer to that is I want to serve and help people. I know in this community, which is a great community, everybody helps each other. And I'm thinking that I'll be able to do that for everybody by serving on the board. When we were in Corpus Christi, I was a volunteer diver at the Texas State Aquarium. It was work, but it was also very much fun because, especially when I played Scuba Santa in the aquarium. And the kids were outside the glass and waving, and the smiles was a real reward. Plus, I've been organized the men of our church to pack 200 lunches for the Salvation Army, and we drive the canteen truck out into the homeless areas, and we'd hand out meals for the homeless. And it was called Survive the Night by the Salvation Army. And so when we moved here, we found out about trinkets and treasures. And for those of new residents that don't know about it, find somebody that's been here longer than 2 years, and they can tell you what trinkets and treasures was. But I found a great group of people, and I helped out with that. Plus, I helped Ron Carter at the garden, and I helped the guys at the wood shop. Well, maybe they helped me a little bit too, because they're pretty good craftsmen. And I just think that by serving on the board, I'll be able to help everyone here. And I'm on the finance committee, and to monitor the expenses and the expenditures and the revenues for this organization to make sure everything is in balance. And I'll do this as long as I'm able to, and that's why I'm so busy. And I know with Regency Oaks we've made some good progress this year in a lot of areas in spite of the virus, and I think we'll have a much better year next year. Lou, your turn.
Why run? I've been on the board for 10 years, so it's a good question. 11 years ago, when I first came on the board, the issues before the board were the marriage penalty, monthly service fee, the need for a town hall, for memory care, assisted living, and we were always fighting for the best interest of the residents. Well, RORO helped to get rid of the marriage penalty. I think we did a reasonable job in keeping the monthly service fee down. Unfortunately, we're still fighting for town hall expansion, memory care, assisted living. And sometimes we lose our focus on who we really represent. So why am I seeking another term? Well, I hope I see that we're near getting a town hall expansion. I see we're close, hopefully, to getting memory care. Some of you know that that's a very personal issue for me. And hopefully assisted living. You know, I joke a lot that if a couple had to go to our current assisted living, one of them would kill the other in about 10 days. So hopefully by being on the board as a representative of the residents, it gives me a voice when we have an opportunity to meet with management and the owners to tell them how much we need this. We bill ourselves as a platinum community, but we will not really be a platinum community until we have memory care, assisted living, and a decent town hall. So I will always keep fighting for the best interest of the residents. And if this were a campaign and we had more candidates who were running, I guess the appropriate thing would be as a candidate to say, I appreciate your vote. I would appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Okay. Well, the board of director candidates, and they will be installed at the January 20th, 2021 quarterly meeting. Do I hear a second?
Second.
In favor? Aye. Okay, thank you all. With that, we're going to go to the president's comments, and then we're going to have some committee reports. This has been a tough year for us. The virus has confined us all. The virus has been hard on us. It's kept us from our families. In spite of all that, our residents have held up tremendously well. So I want to thank each one of our residents again for the great support that they've given Brand and they've given the management, and we have done well. We have only had one case within the resident community, and that was early on, and that gentleman is back and functioning well. So, but we can't stay this way. We can't continue to be a hibernating community. We have to be able to live and become, again, the vibrant community that we were prior to the virus coming up. And so for 2021, we're beginning to work now on our 2021 objectives, myself and the board and Brant. And the first thing we're going to do for 2021 is get us out of this COVID operating environment back to a new normal. Now, it's going to have to be a new normal because of the virus, because we want to keep ourselves free of the virus at the same time that we're opening up our community and going back to a new normal, having all our activities, but maintaining the COVID-free environment. So we're going to ask for everybody's help in that, and that's going to be one of the main things that we're going to focus on. The second thing is that this COVID environment has brought the need, even more so, for improved communications within our community. We have good communications, and thanks to the innovation of Tiffany and Brandon and A lot of our meetings are on television and so forth. But it's hard. It's hard to maintain good communications. Fred has been leading a special committee, and we're going to have a lot of communication changes happening in 2021. So anytime there's change in Regency Oaks, that's a hard thing. We don't take change well. Maybe it's because we're a little older. Maybe it's because we're used to the way things are. I'm not quite sure. However, we're going to have a lot of changes, and it's going to be for the better. And stick with us, because at the end of the year, we're going to have improved communications at the end of 2021. And the third thing I'd like to say we're going to stress, we have to work better with LCS, and LCS has to do a better job of keeping our focus on campus expansion. We're going to have a new town hall starting, thank God, after 5 or 7 years of working on it, by the end of this year. And we still don't have a approved plan that we can show you. But we're going to get one soon. Brant's working hard on getting us one. And when we get one that's suitable to show you, we're going to call you all together and we're going to show you what the new plan is. So we're going to keep you updated with the most current information. A lot of changes happening in 2021. We have a great community, and we have great people in our community. So it's going to be a great year in 2021, and I won't be sorry to kiss 2020 goodbye. I don't know about you, but it's been a tough year for everyone. So thank you all for your cooperation, and thank you all for what you've done to keep our community COVID-free. I ask for your continued patience and support. Fred, you want to pick it up?
Okay, now is the time for the beginning of the committee reports. I'm the chairman of the Technology and Communications Committee. For those of you who don't know, our mission is to recommend to management new options or improvements to existing technology and communications equipment and systems that enhance the residents' quality of life. Members of my committee are Des Bailey, Fred Gardner, Mike Murphy, Bob Millett, Nelson Tolles, and as I mentioned, I am chairman of that committee. As with all the other committees here, this has been a very difficult quarter for us because of COVID. Nevertheless, we have a few things I'd like to talk about. First is the 2020 computer survey, which many of you participated in, and I want to thank all of you who did participate in that study. I want to thank you particularly for those people who don't have computers who responded. I appreciate those comments as well as the details from the people who do have computers. About 46% of our residents responded to this questionnaire. One of the findings of this study and the result of that study is the Regency Oaks Computer Center. It appears to our committee that the time has come to rethink the concept of the Regency Oaks Computer Center. It was established as a teaching center and to provide computer services to residents. Experience has shown that it is not borne out to be true in the long run. 77% of the respondents indicated that they had not used any of the Regency Oaks provided computers. For those who did, only 8 respondents used the 5 computers and the 2 laptops in the computer room. It's concluded that the Regency Oaks Computer Center can be downsized and the computers associated with that center can be put to more use. It's proposed that one Dell computer may move to each library to replace the obsolete equipment and one Apple computer be moved to the south lobby to match that which is in the north lobby. This puts the computers closer to the residents. The remaining one Apple computer and the Chrome computer, together with the printers and the shredders, can be moved in to an area in the proximity to the new town hall to be a little more accessible, more centrally located. With regard to the computer center training and support, it would appear that the resident-to-resident support still has an important role here at Regency Oaks. With the upcoming upgrade to Wi-Fi and the replacement of the current internet provider, peer assistance will probably take on an expanded role. The poll indicated a need for one-on-one assistance still exists, and if possible, it should be responded to. First, our committee proposed to poll the residents to determine if we could get additional volunteers who would help other residents with their computer work. Then provide all residents living here a list of the volunteers with their specialties so they can choose if they have a problem or need help. Second, it may be time to establish some sort of call it a computer club, like group under the auspices of resident activity staff with regular meetings. Peer support would be addressed by most of the questions submitted to this forum on a monthly basis and would provide a timely educational session on a wide range of subjects. And one of the first topics we probably will do, if this takes place, will be to talk about artificial intelligence, which is today's buzzwords. These findings have been approved and recommended by the RORO Board of Directors. One other quick item, communication during power failures has proved to be a very serious problem for us. Sometimes it occurs on a weekend, which even makes the problem even more serious. Our committee has completed a study done by one of our members, Bob Mullet, and the study is still underway, but we will soon be testing to see if radio is a practical and efficient way to accomplish resident notification during power failures. That's the end of my report. I'll be around afterwards if anyone has any questions.
Okay, Todd Hamilton.
Good morning, everyone. I have the honor of chairing two committees, Health and Safety and Buildings and Grounds. I'm going to start with the Health and Safety Committee first. Our mission of the Health and Safety Committee is to be aware of and note any situations or actions within the Regency Oaks community that could impact the health, safety, comfort, and quality of life of our fellow residents. We've been blessed with a very active Health and Safety Committee. The members this year have included Millie Diaz, Robin Graham, Susan Haverbeck, Karen Lee, Phyllis Mansour, John Myers, Toby Schugert, Lois Thorne, and Terry Werner. We have two members of staff that work with the committee closely. One is Leslie Haas, the Resident Service Director, and occasionally Chris Sankanowitz, the Personalized Living Administrator. Our accomplishments were kind of brief in 2020. The committee met in all months of the year except April in conducting health and safety business. Our major concerns and issues. First, overall ongoing resident health, safety, and security has always been number one. New resident orientation, which was made difficult because of lockdowns in early months, but now a proper, frequent, and ongoing topic. those of you that are new residents, come to health and safety and ask all kinds of questions. Not only what are some of our procedures and concerns, but how do I get certain services? We have always had an open door on that particular topic. Safety with the new pedicure chair in the beauty shop. You would not have thought what we went through getting that approved and locked down literally locked down so that the residents could get in and out of the new pedicure chair. Resident implementation and formation of a voluntary grief support group. A number of the members of the committee are former nurses and saw a real need for that particular function, and that has been formed and meets on a continual basis. And the Regency Oaks recycling program. We're currently on vacation on that, but when the community eases and we get more comfortable, we will be back talking to you on a frequent basis about recycling styrofoam. The other committee that I chair is the Building and Grounds Committee. We've had a very interesting year in Buildings and Grounds. That committee shall act as an advocacy group for all Regency Oaks residents in both independent living and the Regency Oaks healthcare facility that have site-wide common applicability to their residents. The members of that committee are Tony Quattromoni, Gene Beagles, Ed Hawks, Earl Kerr, Joe Timmons, Mike White, and myself. And we have two very important people that work very closely. One is the maintenance director, Darwin Perez, and somebody else that we are very, very grateful to, and that's Corey Schultz, who runs the grounds crew as a private contractor for Regency Oaks. Everybody loves the work that Corey and his crew does. Talking about the accomplishments of Buildings and Grounds, the committee met in all months to date except March and April in 2020, conducting buildings and grounds business. COVID-19 restrictions required maintenance employees to stay out of resident apartments except for true emergency repairs. This restriction has been eased, and maintenance is clearing the backlog of deferred work orders. Please be patient. They're going to get to your apartment and hang your pictures and do your repair work that you need to have done. The major accomplishments, concerns, and issues. The maintenance department accomplished cleanup, fix-up in common areas throughout the restriction period. They use the committee to keep reminding them of those things that needed to be retouched up and handled. They solved plumbing issues caused by pet owners improperly disposing of animal waste. They solved several electrical issues involving backup generators and emergency switching. And they solved various issues in the reopened beauty barbershop following the late 2019 rehab. And now I'll pass it to Margaret.
I got my own. I am the chairman of the Dining Services Committee. Our mission statement is, Dining Service Committee acts as an advisory group representing all Regency Oaks independent living people. We advocate a fine dining service which provides a variety of selections to please most residents. Can't please everybody all the time. Our residents taste in a friendly, attractive, comfortable dining room or a more casual style dining in the tavern in the Oaks. Our members of the committee, which I want to thank for their service this year, it's been an unusual year. we have called emergency meetings with like 1 or 2 days' notice, and they have come and helped big time. Members are Bobby Belcher, Brenda Jones, Dee Culp, Edie James, Judy Diver, Judy Studebaker, Linda Rudiger, Walt Guzik, and also our management team is Ricky Bacher, Phil Sertz, and Johnny Herb. They've helped us a lot during the time that we needed guidance. It was a busy year, and in a busy year we did a lot of things. In the beginning, when the coronavirus showed up, we stopped anybody going to the dining room, and we were served 3 meals a day. We got lots of food and lots of prunes, but we survived. Then we sort of went down a little bit, and we were down to 1 meal a day, but yet the tavern was open for grab and go. Now we've gone to the dining room being opened and the tavern. They are at a limited number of people, and in the future we hope to open up more things. During the virus, we also had a drink cart that went up and down the halls with wine, beer, and soft drinks. We clarified the dress code for the dining room, and since the salad bar is closed, the dining room has provided cut-up fruit, a selection of bread, and a salad of the day, and then a choice between an iceberg or a mixed green salad, alternating days like the sweet potato and the potato do. We have started opening up different programs again, like wine club, beer club, and gourmet. It's been an unusual year, but I really think that dining has done a superb job of keeping us well fed. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Harry Cobo. I'm in charge of the Employee Gift Fund. And I really need to thank the residents this year. I'll be talking about this a little bit later, but for everything that you do for our employees during this very difficult time. But I have a committee, and I have a wonderful committee, and they do a lot of things. They're behind the scenes, but they make me look good. And members of my committee, first of all, we have a staff person on there. You might say, well, why do we have a staff person? We have Sandra. Well, we have to get the information we need to give out the checks. If we didn't have Sandra, and if we didn't have Mr. Spence allowing her to do this, we would be in a jam. And we really appreciate her help. She's been a valuable tool for us throughout the years. We also have Betty E. Gray, Eleanor Finn, Norma Jean Infante, Carolyn Montgomery, Lorraine Moscadini, Nancy Murphy, Ed Newton, Peggy Patterson, and Ann Tanner. And you might say, well, what exactly is the mission of the Employee Gift Fund? Our mission is to verbally, in writing, or in writing, or by posters, letting you know the importance of the Employee Gift Fund. You might say, well, how important is the Employee Gift Fund? Well, let me tell you, during this pandemic, it's going to mean an awful lot. I talked to employees, and they said, you know, Mr. Cobo, I used to have 2 and 3 jobs. Now I'm only down to 1. I have family and friends that have no job. And they're thankful that they're still able to work at Regency Oaks. They're provided a job, and they're so thankful for that, and they share that with me. But now, Employee Gift Fund is a time that we can give back to those employees the help they're given. Some of you may not like the help, most of you do. But I think that's been invaluable. I think if you look at across the board, through Mr. Spence's guidance and leadership, that he's trying to keep each and every one of us safe. But we have to do our part. We all grown-ups. And we have to help him if we want to continue to be safe. A point of personal privilege, this will be my last year as chairperson of the Employee Gift Fund. My doctors have recommended for some time that I start giving up stuff. And now that my wife has moved into assisted living, which will require more of my time, which I want to give her. And I hold no harm against anybody. I love the committee. I love the residents. But I felt like it was time to leave. But I will not leave the Employee Gift Fund. I will not leave promoting it. I will continue to promote it. But reviewing the figures, I looked at the figures right before I came. This year, we've collected $170,000. We're about $5,000 behind last year's schedule. And I would think that we should have been way higher than that with the pandemic. Most of you give what's requested or asked for. Some of you give way beyond what is asked for. Some of you just don't give. I'm asking you to reconsider that and do not hold it against the employees for whatever reason. Because whatever you do, if you go have your hair done or go out to dinner or have a cab to take you to dinner or whatever, you usually tip. We don't call it a tip because you're not allowed to tip here. We call it giving into the Employee Gift Fund. So let me make a special appeal. We almost made $200,000 last year. We got $196,300. We're shooting for $200,000. I feel sure that we can make it. So just pray about it, and if the Lord leads, donate a little extra. And for those who don't give it all, please reconsider and give to the Employee Gift Fund. Thank you very much.
Lou, you want to pick it up, please, on programs?
Yes, I'm a chairperson of the Resident Activities Committee, and our objective is to provide a variety of activities and programs to stimulate the minds, bodies, and spirits of the residents. We have a great committee also. It consists of Millie Diaz, Betty Egray, Mary Ann Gardner, Marion Green, Bill and Lorraine Mescadini, Rita Singer, Ann Turner, Adrian Terrace, and of course, without Tiffany Rivers and Ginger Horton, we'd be totally lost. What have we accomplished? Well, the committee's work has been hindered by the virus, but through the hard work of Tiffany and Ginger, many of the programs and activities have returned, if not in their original form, in a modified manner. Exercise programs are going strong, church services have returned, concerts are beginning to start up, and movies are airing daily. The committee will continue to find ways to expand its activities within the virus guidelines. Residents are encouraged to make suggestions to committee members or to Tiffany and Ginger. I'm also chair of what is known as the Weisslocal Award. This award was created a number of years ago in honor of myself and my late wife. It should more likely be given in honor of my late wife rather than me. I don't know why, but anyway, this is an award given annually to a person for sustained exemplary contributions to the quality of life at Regency Oaks. Nominations will be accepted for this award up until the end of this month, so please either email me or put a note in my mailbox of someone who thinks deserving of this award. It's an award given to a person who has done work or has done something that has affected a large volume of people in this community. So please give it some thought. We already have some nominations, but we're open to some more. So at the end of the month, they're due, and the award will be given in the January meeting.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lou. I'm Chris Swanson. I'm chairman of the Finance Committee. Our mission is to monitor the revenues and expenditures for the operation of Regency Oaks and to identify and prioritize capital expenditures. Members of my committee are Bobby Belcher, Fred Green, Don Hamilton, Bill Muscardini, Ed Newton, Lou Weisslogel, C.L. Wilmot, and Marie Bishop. And our objectives have been completed. We met monthly. In fact, during the peak of the virus, we met by Zoom. And so no meetings were canceled. And we're getting used to the new accounting system. The numbers are just arranged a little differently, and we're getting used to that with the LCS. We reviewed the 2019 audit, which was Brookdale. We still did that to make sure everything was transferred correctly. We reviewed the 2021 capital budget, and the numbers for, as Donna mentioned, probably for a town hall have not been identified yet because they're still waiting for the final plan. Brent mentioned that we've spent $1 million already on planning and design. And it's hard to believe you spent $1 million without putting a shovel in the ground, but that's what we've done. And we followed up on the monthly service fee presentation. We didn't do the presentation, but we were a force behind reminding them that it needed to be done. And we presented our quarterly reports for the year also. We represent all of us because we pay all the bills. The money comes from us, and we want to make sure there's a balance between our finances. The shareholder gets their investment return, so we want to make sure that everybody is treated fairly. And if you have any questions, contact any one of us on the committee. We're glad to help if we can. Judy, it's your turn.
Good morning. I am Judy Studebaker. I chair the RORO Sales and Marketing Committee. Members of the committee are Jean Beagles, Eleanor Finn, Fred Green, Ed Newton, Peggy Patterson, Ann Siraj, Chris Swanson, and Perry Goodbar, the Director of Sales and Marketing. The mission statement of the RORO Sales and Marketing Committee is to contribute to maximizing Regency Oaks' occupancy rate by utilizing the Ambassador Program to help achieve the goal. Because of COVID-19, all on-site marketing tours were suspended for several months. The ambassadors assisted in developing virtual content to use during the pandemic. Welcome videos from ambassadors were created for new residents prior to move-in. We are implementing a new program to assist prospects in trial stays. Since many of the COVID-19 restrictions have now been lifted, sales and marketing is slowly getting back to, quote, normal, unquote, whatever that turns out to be. We now have the highest occupancy rate in the history of Regency Oaks. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank each one of the committee chairmen for their great reports. Is there any other business that anybody in the audience feels needs to be brought up today before we go to questions? Okay, questions? Yes.
I'd like to make a comment, please. I don't know why we haven't already had an emergency blast on this, but I turned on my computer this morning and I got an email from LCS saying that they were #1 again on the J.D. Power review of all the communities. So for 2 years in a row, LCS has really hit a home run. Congratulations.
I didn't get that email. Thank you for sharing that. That's good. Okay, well, thank you. Any other business? How about some questions from the audience, please? Guys must want to go home.
were so good. We covered everything so well.
Well, yes, the committee chairman did a great job. I want to thank each one of them. Okay, well, last chance for questions, gang. Well, thank you all for coming. God bless and have a great day.